They stopped doing this in 1990. They used to use beef tallow instead of vegetable oils and other seed oils for their French fries, and customers said they've noticed a difference. I remember those fried apple pies, probably not the most healthy thing for you, but talk about these seed oils, doctor, and how they are also part of this deadly, toxic combination of food that so many Americans are eating.
Very true. Again, this is something Kennedy's tried to highlight for people, and there are some very simple ways that one can change the way they prepare food to make them, if you will, healthy. You know, there's nothing intrinsically unhealthy about McDonald's if they look at how they can correct some of their preparation processes to make them on side of healthy approaches. And you mentioned obviously the change in the oils that they use. These seed oils can be very toxic to the human body. And it's, again, it's not a very complicated thing to try to change.
Right.
But you're up against an industry that's, you know, a lot of the people that went into the food industry, Kraft, Nabisco, et cetera, they migrated out of the tobacco industry. When the tobacco industry was going through some evolution in the late 70s, early 80s, these parent companies bought up some of our food industry, cereal industry, Nabisco, Kraft, and with that came scientists that really had been in the tobacco industry. And one of the things they had done in the tobacco industry is try to figure out how to make tobacco products more repetitively appealing, or you could say addicting to individuals. Well, those same philosophies have entered into our food products so that they actually are engineered to be more addicting.
Wow. Wow, I think that's true. I mean, anyone has had those potato chips. You can't have just one of them. You know, there are, it's not that difficult. It's something we try to do in our house is get rid of the seed oils. I'm from the South, so I love fried food. And I'm glad to hear that if you make some changes, doctor, you don't have to give this stuff up altogether. You can still enjoy French fries as long as they're prepared in a little bit more healthy fashion. It's part of a fascinating conversation that will be had if Donald Trump wins and Robert Kennedy Jr. gets to get his hands on this topic. And I know Dr. Redfield will be involved in that as well. Great to have you with us, Dr. Robert Redfield. Thank you.
I'll just say this is definitely doable. We can make America healthy again. We just need leaders that have the vision to see it as possible, and then to lead our nation to act and accomplish the goals to build a health system and make America on a path for health rather than disease.
Very true. And I would say, you know, we have to do this as a nation. We have to do it. It's not an option at this point. Great to see you, Dr. Redfield. Thank you.
Thanks, John. God bless.
60 Minutes responds to the Kamala Harris editing controversy, sort of. Trump's team saying it isn't convinced, calling it an admission of guilt. More on that next.
Attention families with a loved one in a nursing home. If your loved one has suffered from bed sores, falls, broken bones, dehydration, or even death, you may be entitled to a substantial settlement. If you have a loved one who is injured in a nursing home, we will find out what happened. State violations are found against nursing homes every day. You have a limited time to file your claim, so don't wait. Call 800-710-5444 and speak with one of our attorneys. The call is confidential and free.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor for 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life. They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes, and as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm, please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 800-531-2824.
You served your country with honor. Now get the benefits you've rightfully earned. Paul R. Lawrence has written the book every veteran should own, Veterans Benefits for You. This step-by-step guide breaks down what you need to know, from financial compensation and disabilities to information for dependents and parents. This book is a must-read for all servicemen and women. Get your free copy today with our special offer. Call the number on your screen or go online to order.
Welcome back. CBS News says it will not release the full unedited transcript of its interview with Vice President Kamala Harris from October the 7th. Yesterday, the network, though, did admit that they trimmed her answer about the war in the Middle East and the U.S. relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu. In a statement, CBS denied former President Trump's allegations that they deceitfully edited the clip. But here is an admission. Same question, same answer, but a different portion of the response. They added, quote, "Our longstanding invitation to former President Trump remains open." Now, Trump's campaign press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, wrote this in response. They edited a different response from another part of her answer to make Kamala Harris sound less incoherent than she really was. Their statement is not a denial. It is an admission that they did exactly what they were accused of. Ryan Gerdusky is back with us. Ryan, this is... I think Donald Trump's version of this is election interference, but it does certainly seem deceitful, disingenuous. In the fact, I don't think the pressure is going to go away. We still need to see this transcript.
I wonder how often they were withholding transcripts from past presidents. I would love to know what presidential candidates. I would love to know the history of it, because I definitely have seen them release some past transcripts. Is this normal? I don't really know, and I don't know unless she started blurting out expletives. I don't know why you would trim one answer specifically on one topic. And it's also not that they just canceled out a question. They ask a question, she didn't give an interesting answer, so they didn't release it. They edited the answer. That's a very different thing. It's very strange.
It is very strange. And, I guess the thing I keep coming back to in my mind is worse than the George W. Bush document gate scandal that 60 Minutes dealt with a long time ago.
That was worse. That was worse because they knew that the information was incorrect and they published it anyway. They didn't look at the font. The accusation, for those who don't remember, was that he had dodged the draft. They presented a letter. The letter was used with a font that had not been invented at the time that the draft dodging would have happened. It was during a war. That was actually, people did get fired, and rightfully so. I don't know. We don't know what they hid, but that was actually horrendous.
Well, we'll see. Would still like to see that transcript. I think a lot of people would. But Ryan, you are the subject of this next topic. And as I indicated before, I've been watching with great entertainment your appearances on CNN recently. Let's take a look at that.
Donald Trump has threatened every major media company in the United States, including Fox.
Wait, but Ryan, okay. All right, let's call it what you say. I think Brian's point is Trump is saying he wants to take an entire news organization off the air because he doesn't like an interview that they conducted.
He doesn't like the editing.
Can't you just, like, in the real world, acknowledge that's bad?
I would say that Donald Trump should get a diary instead of Truth Social. That's my opinion. That is.
There we are now.
Sometimes you do need a diary.
Yeah, write it all down in a diary like Ronald Reagan did. But what was so amazing to me is in that situation how you go in there and you bring up the very obvious point that Barack Obama was busted for spying on journalists, using the implements of our intelligence community to spy on journalists, including one of my colleagues, James Rosen. And everyone on that panel just conveniently forgets about that.
What I hate and what drives me crazy, and I've been, listen, thank you to Abby Phillips for having me on as many times as she's had on. Thank you, CNN, for having me on. However, what drives me crazy is when liberals sit with me and they act as if everything that Donald Trump has ever done is unprecedented, that we had nothing besides 44 presidents who were utter angels in the White House who never used the government. I mean, LBJ, FDR, Richard Nixon. You could name almost every single solitary president. You could even name Abraham Lincoln. And some of them sat there and went after the media, went after enemies. They all did. So just calm down. Stop hyperventilating over every little thing Trump did. Trump is to them both an orange moron and an evil genius at the same exact time. And they are whipping their audience into a nervous breakdown where they're like all mentally unwell at all times, unhinged. And they're saying, this is unprecedented. And no one has read a history book ever. And I'm just saying, well, didn't Obama do this worse? Didn't Obama do? And then what's his face sat there and said to me, well, Trump imprisoned, Reality Winner. Reality Winner was a whistleblower. He wasn't a journalist. What are you talking about? And he knows better. Brian Stelter, he knows better. The last time when I was on when I talked about the Ferguson riots, that was insane. But you know what? So often they're never in a room with somebody like me. They're never in a room with an actual conservative or conservative who's read a book and knows what day of the week it is. That is, and a conservative also who doesn't hate being a Republican and want to bash Trump all day long. So when they are in a room with someone like me, sometimes they don't know how to handle it, and I don't really care. And to CNN's credit, I told them if they wanted a Republican who would spend their whole day apologizing for being a Republican, it ain't me, and they still wanted me on. So, but it makes for good TV.
I think there is a limit to how good at the team. I mean, I commend you for going in there, keeping a calm head, because a lot of the people that you're talking to, they are completely unhinged. But you're right. I mean, one of the things that I think is very telling when I always try to have at least one progressive or liberal on this show every single day. And when you're trying to talk about Kamala Harris or trying to talk about some Democratic policy, when they immediately pivot back to Donald Trump or, oh, well, that's one thing, but what about this? Then, you kind of have them in your hands or like putty, and you can start having those debates and drilling down on those things. It's great stuff. And you do a great job, Ryan. We always love having you on our show. Great to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Still ahead, we're going to talk about the Portland's mayor's race, the WNBA, and a rapper named Glorilla. Those are all stories we're not covering this week.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. That sedentary inactivity is terrible for your health. It's time to add some extra steps to your day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact. It's the easiest exercise you will ever do.
Ellipse fits perfectly under my desk, and it is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs. Increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Power-assisted exercise that frees your mind to enjoy your favorite seated activities. Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Plug it in, place your feet, select your speed, and relax. Ellipse does all the work. Loosen stiff joints and tight muscles. Reduce swelling, alleviate cramps, and calm restless legs.
Ellipse is so smooth, so easy on my joints. My legs are stronger, my joints are no longer stiff. I can walk without pain. My mobility is as good as it was 20 years ago.
Other seated exercises produce harsh, jarring movement, but Ellipse's 46% larger rotational diameter provides more exercise plus ultra-smooth motion that's safe, super low impact, and feels great. Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Be one of the first 300 callers and get upgraded to the Ellipse Deluxe Bundle.
3-on-3 basketball league, which will air on Max and other major networks. They're trying to recruit Clark, according to Front Office Sports here, so maybe they can turn it around. But in the meantime, Xavier, I have to leave the WNBA stories to the other major sports networks. Right, Call?
I think that's the right call. I mean, no shade to these players. I'm sure they've worked hard, but honestly, sometimes you just have to be happy to be in the room because the WNBA has literally never been profitable. So for them to sit here and ask for so much, that just reeks of entitlement. And if you call me a misogynistic for that, then so be it. I don't think this is
smear. شعار يشوف دفنة